Hey, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about how to create a real simple leaflet map in R in really less than 5 minutes. So the first thing you want to do is load a couple of these packages. The main package we're going to use today is Leaflet, and you're going to want to load like readr and readxl to read in your dataset. The dataset I'm going to use today is a tornado dataset for the United States. So let's read that in with the read.csv function. And let's take a quick look at our data. This dataset contains tornadoes in the United States from 1950 to 2013. We have a couple of fields like state, the magnitude of the tornado, the injuries, the fatalities, and also the loss. We also have some data we're going to need for leaflet, like the longitude and latitude. The first thing I usually like to do is create a label for my leaflet plot. So if you look at a plot and you look at the you want to kind of see, what year that tornado was or what category. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm taking my data set and I'm using mutate to create a new column called label. I'm also using the str glue function to glue a couple of these columns together. So the first one I'm using is I'm taking the year column, and then I'm also taking the magnitude of that tornado, the injuries, and killed. So let's run that real quick. And let's see what that looks like. So right here I have his label created. So like this first one was a 1950 category 3. We have 3 injured and 0 killed. Since our data set is pretty large, I want to filter for a specific state. In this example, I'm using Colorado. So for Colorado, there were 2,230 rows with those 30 columns. So this is the data set we're going to use for the leaflet map. And there are a couple functions that you're going to want to use for leaflet in general. The first is leaflet with curly brackets. And basically this creates the leaflet map. The next one is add tiles. This basically adds the map background. There's also provided tiles, which you can use really cool base maps besides the static add tiles. And you also need to show your points on the map. So you can either use like add markers or you can add circle markers. There are a lot more additional arguments you can use, but those are the 4 main ones we're going to use. And this is really quick. So basically, I'm going to show you an example of a plot with maybe too many points, and in a different lecture, I can show you how to actually filter down those points by using a clustering method. But here's an example of the data being a little bit too large for this plot. So I'm going to use that leaflet. Then I'm going to call the add tiles to add a map to that. And then I'm going to add the markers. So let's run that real quick and show you what that looks like. So as you can see, this map's a little bit too big. This has a lot of points, and there's also, we can use like an add clustering method to actually really break this down and make it look better, but that will be for a different lecture. So let's actually filter down this data. I only want to see tornadoes that are greater than category 1 or the magnitude 1. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to add leaflet, add tiles. I'm going to call the add markers function. And I need longitude and latitude for that. And I also have my pop-up is that label I created. So let me show you what that looks like. As you can see, the map looks a lot better when you filter down the data. Kind of zoom in. And now we have this pop-up that tells you the year, the category, and how many that are killed. That's pretty cool. And that was really simple, less than 5 minutes. You can also use the add circle markers, and I'll show you what that looks like. So you can see here, instead of those other looking tiles, now you have circles for those markers, and you still have the pop-up. There's some additional options if you want to use for the add circle markers or add markers. Usually for add circle markers, you can adjust the radius, the color, the weight, the opacity, and there's also the pop-up, which I already showed you. Let's see what that looks like. See here the marker is a little bit bigger and a different color. So what's next? There's a lot of different things you can do with Leaflet. Some of the lectures will talk about creating a heat map and also show you how to use that clustering option for when you have a lot of points on your map. So I hope you enjoyed this really quick video on how to make a leaflet map in basically less than 5 minutes. Thank you.